my memories. They were not formed in times like yours, soft, forgiving, weak. They were gathered in a time without privilege, in a time littered with safe spaces, unearned first places, no fake acceptance of what you may have festered to become. My memories were forged in times of undeserved suffering, times that held us all to account for every step, every misstep as you stumbled through time's maze of decisions. Hard times that either made the weak grow strong or felled them as casualties of life's burdens. It also rewarded the tough, but most of all, it saw through the arrogant, those who thought too highly of themselves. Time treated them most harshly of all. My memories have watched them suffer most of all. The stories I hold on to, the stories I tell, those tales are not always from the times I have lived. Many of these memories have been entrusted to me over the open fires under a star-filled sky, told to me in smoke-filled bars with a bottle from the bottom shelf. These memories have guided me in life, pointed me in a direction with fewer traps, richer treasures, and calmer weather. My hope is, by passing these on to you in your time, you may be able to gain a truer perspective of the life you live, to be more grateful for the softer times you've been gifted by those who have paid the tougher price. A bunch of the boys were whooping it up in the Malamute saloon. The kid that handles the music box was hitting a jagtime tune. Back of the bar in a solo game sat dangerous Dan McGrew. And watching his luck, his light of love, the lady that was known as Lou. When out of the night, which was fiddy below, and into the din and glare, there stumbled a miner fresh from the creeks, dog dirty and loaded for bear. He looked like a man with a foot in the grave and scarcely the strength of a louse. Yet he tilted a poke of dust on the bar, and he called for drinks for the house. There was none could place the stranger's face, though we searched ourselves for a clue. But he drank his health, and the last to drink was dangerous Dan McGrew. There's men that somehow just grip your eyes and hold them hard like a spell, and such was he, and he looked to me like a man who'd lived in hell. With a face most hair and the dreary stare of a dog whose day is gone, as he watered the green stuff in his glass and the drops fell one by one, then I got to figure who he was and wondered what he'd do. And I turned my head, and there was watching him the lady that's known as Lou. His eyes went rubbering around the room, and he seemed in a kind of daze, till at last that old piano fell in the way of his wandering gaze. The ragtime kid was having a drink. There was no one else at the stool. So the stranger stumbled across the room and flops down there like a fool. In a buckskin shirt there was a glaze with dirt. He sat, and I saw him sway. Then he clutched the keys with his talon hands. My God, what that man could play. Were you ever out in the great alone when the moon was awful clear, and the icy mountains hemmed you in with a silence you could almost hear, with only the howl of a timber wolf, and you camped there in the cold, a half-dead thing in a stark dead world, clean mad the muck called gold, while high overhead, green, yellow, and red, the northern lights swept in bars? Then you've a hunch what music meant, hunger and night and the stars. And hunger not of the belly kind that's banished with bacon and beans, but the gnawing hunger of a lonely man for a home and all that it means. for a fireside far from the cares that are, four walls and a roof above. Oh, but cramful of cozy joy, and crowned with a woman's love. A woman dearer than all the world, a true as heaven is true. God, how ghastly she looks through her rouge, the lady known as Lou. Then on a sudden the music changed, so soft that you could hear. But you felt that your life had been looted clean of all that it once held dear. That someone had stolen the woman you loved, that her love was a devil's lie. That your guts were gone and the best of you was to crawl away and die. 'Twas the crowing cry of a heart's despair, and it thrilled you through and through. I guess I'll make it a spread misery, said dangerous Dan McGrew. The music almost died away, then it burst like a pent-up flood, and it seemed to say, repay, repay, and my eyes were blind with blood. The thought came back of an ancient wrong, and it stung like a frozen lash, and the lust awoke to kill, then the music stopped with a crash, and the stranger turned and his eyes they burned in a most peculiar way. In a buckskin shirt that was glazed with dirt, he sat and I saw him sway. Then his lips went in a kind of grin, and he spoke, and his voice was calm. And boys, says he, you don't know me, and none of you care a damn. But I want to state my words are straight, and I'll bet my poke they're true, that one of you is a hound of hell, that one is Dan McGrew. Then I ducked my head and the lights went out, and two guns blazed in the dark, and a woman screamed and the lights went up, and two men lay stiff and stark. Pinched on his head and pumped full of lead was dangerous Dan McGrew, while the man from the creeks lay clutched to the breast of a lady that's known as Lou. These are the simple facts of the case, and I guess I ought to know. They say that the stranger was crazed with hooch, and I'm not denying it so. I'm not so wise as the lawyer guys, but strictly between us two. The woman that kissed him and pinched his poke was the lady known as Lou.
Thank you for listening. Keep on the lookout for more tales from an old man. The Shooting of Dan McGrew was written by Robert W. Service and performed by our resident old man. Over the next few weeks, we will be releasing our preseason specials. Season 4 will officially begin October 28th. Please consider supporting the show on Patreon or join our Discord community for more behind-the-scenes stuff.